What is happening, Magnusites? So, things are getting a little fishy here. I was waiting for something like this. I was awaiting. So it says here on Forbes, something fishy is going on with The Little Mermaid's Rotten Tomato user reviews. I fully expect this movie to fare better with critics than the audiences, given how the culture wars normally work. Instead, the critics' score is just 67% as of this writing, while the audiences are giving it a whopping 95%, significantly higher than The Jungle Book's 86%. That film scored a 94% with critics. This is actually quite similar to the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which scored just 59% with the critics, while 96% of fans reviewed the film positively on Rotten Tomatoes. But that's reflected almost exactly over a Metacritic but that's reflected almost exactly over at Metacritic, where the Super Mario Bros. Movie scored just 46 with critics, but pulled an 86 with audiences. Meanwhile, Metacritic's The Little Mermaid page reflects almost the complete opposite of Rotten Tomatoes. So it says here that their Metascore is 59% with the critics, but a 2.1 with the user score. This is much more in line with what I expected would happen with audience reviews, since this movie has become so embroiled in culture war debates around race swapping, wokeness, and so forth, as well as just Disney fatigue. Many people not invested at all in the culture wars are nevertheless tired of the live action remakes. I find it utterly preposterous that this film would score that much higher with audiences than with critics. Critics, while not entirely politically aligned, are much more likely as a group to be sympathetic to the social justice politics and less reactionary to change made to beloved classics than the average moviegoer. I would expect this movie to have a pretty wide spread of negative and positive reviews, and a score within shouting distance of the critic score. A bit higher or a bit lower, but not almost 30 points higher. Indeed, the live action remake of The Little Mermaid is now scoring much higher with audiences than the 1989 animated classic, which sits at 88% with audiences and 92% with critics. Are we to believe that moviegoers will love the remake even more than the original? That certainly wasn't the case with Beauty and the Beast, which fared better with the critics and the audiences as a cartoon by a wide margin. Do I think Metacritic's 2.1 is an accurate reflection of the film's quality? Definitely not. CinemaScore has actual audience members giving this an A grade, so it's definitely being warmly received. Beauty and the Beast live action remake also got a CinemaScore, but only clocked in at 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. I know that Rotten Tomatoes is taking moderation of user reviews seriously and tries to prevent review bombing, but these scores seem inflated beyond what is realistically likely for a film that is getting such a lukewarm reception from the critics. Peter Pan and Wendy, the most recent live action remake from Disney, scored just a bit lower than Little Mermaid with the critics, 62%, but bombed completely with audiences at 11%. Even just casually observing forums and social media, you see a pretty wide range of reactions from wild praise to meh. It was okay to this was hot garbage. There's no way that Rotten Tomatoes 95% or Metacritic's 2.1 are accurate reflections of what people are actually saying. Well, we all know that people review bomb in both ways, and we know that companies, that rhymes, I had to play the game, bars, will actually pay for fake reviews. We know this. So I already knew, come on now. We knew that there was going to be extra going both ways with this. I just as much as you, I've gotten tired so much of all the woke politics and stuff. Yeah, it just sticks out like someone just doing jumping jacks in the middle of a movie. It's just like, there it is again. It's done so much for the sake of just being woke rather than, it's ridiculous. So anyway, we all knew this was going to happen. This happened with starting with Captain Marvel. I think that's when, I can't remember of any other movie before that, but I think that's when it started. When it's like, all right, stuff is fishy. Okay, like it's not right. People don't like this much. And I talked to somebody in Hollywood, and they was like, yo, when movie theaters are empty, companies buy up tickets to make it look like they're doing better than what you think. I was in an empty movie theater for Captain Marvel. I was in one. A bunch of people were posting pictures of empty movie theaters. I'm sorry, there's no way it did $1 billion. But, organically, there's no way it did $1 billion. There we go. So, but my thoughts on The Little Mermaid, I didn't hate it. I actually thought it was slightly above average entertainment. I gave it a 2.75 out of 5. Even though I knew, clearly it was woke. I knew this, but I still liked it, I talked to you guys before, like people were telling me to watch The Boys for a long time. And a few of y'all had sent me messages saying, listen, it's the only woke show I like, or it's woke, but it's good. And, some people say, oh, well, yeah, but we think it's woke, but it's done that way to be a parody of what's kind of going on. It could be all of that, because they do swap in there and everything. And there's a whole lot of stuff in there. A whole lot of stuff in there. And, but it's an excellent show. So I think it was kind of like that with this for me. I went in not knowing what to expect, had an open mind. It ended up being a little bit better than what I thought it was going to be. To tell you the truth, she sang great. I thought the special effects were wonky sometimes, but were great in other areas, as good or better than Aquaman in certain scenes. You know what I mean? They changed stuff up, so it's like for the sticklers for the story, I get it. I do not like when they change stuff up. Do it the right way. So it is what it is. It's not like I'll be buying it or watching it again or nothing like that, but we all knew it was going to be hell to pay. We already knew this. And the more they keep changing stuff, and they're going to keep alienating people, and they're going to keep losing money, and people are going to still keep review bombing, and they're going to have to pay for seats or for reviews or whatever else they're trying to do to try to save money or save face. They just need to start entertaining people the way they did, the way that got them the love of the fans. That's all you need to do. Just go back to doing what you were doing. It's a real simple process. It's really simple. Do what you did that made that a success. I don't think people would be so irritated with the remakes if they weren't so woked up. I think that's the main issue. Don't change the stories up. Keep them as they were. Don't woke them up. Put all you got into the special effects so it don't look stupid. And I think that people are going to love them. So, I don't know what the next one is that they got planned, but I hope they're learning. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. If you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!